people. I think it's important, though, that you kids at your age, every once in a while, sit through big, I won't say boring people church, but big people church. And I remember when my dad decided that it was time for me to sit through big people church, and that was a big deal. Now, I'm a compulsive fidgeter. I'm always moving, and so my dad had a secret that I'm going to share with you guys. It's candy. All right? And so here, you need to take these. Now, don't eat it yet, but I want each of you to take one of these.
What are they?
These are lifesavers.
I eat lifesavers.
You like these? Take one. Don't eat it yet. Hold on to it.
I had those big greens that we got from church.
Right. Sorry, Will, it's not enough for you. Now, don't eat it yet, though. Okay? Adults, maybe I consider bringing like kale chips or something really healthy for the rest of you that no such luck. Now, here's the deal. Kids, listen to me. You can eat the lifesaver now, and that's totally fine. But if you wait until I am done preaching and you have still not eaten the candy I just gave you, I'll let you have one of these.
Oh, wow.
These are full-size candy. Yeah, I stood up for that. Full-size candy bars. I got Kit Kats, I got Reese's, Hershey bars. So, here is the deal. You can eat the candy at any point, but if you eat that lightsaber, you will not get one of these.
I put mine in my phone. I put mine in my phone.
So today, now don't worry, this message, by the way, has not been approved by the National Diabetes Association. And these kids aren't coming home with me, so I think I'll be all right.
One is.
Yeah, but you've got to make a decision here this morning. You've got to make a decision, because we're going to talk about temptation. Do any of you kids know what temptation is?
I know what temptation is.
All right, tell me, Eric.
Temptation is like you're tempted to do something like say you really want something and you're tempted to go like say like right now I'm so tempted to actually just go.
Yes. Now, adults, let's be honest. I don't know if I can trust some of you with the piece of candy. Some of you are like, oh man, I'm glad Pastor's not using me as an illustration here. Never before has a group of kids prayed so hard for a short sermon as they are today. All right, so yes, temptation is when you know that something would be wrong to do, but you kind of want to do it anyways. And adults, you are familiar with this feeling as well. So that's what we're going to talk about today, is making a choice. And temptation is a choice that we make all the time. And it's not just when you're little, it's when you're bigger too. And so we choose sin, or we choose what God has set out for us. And so today I'm going to tell you guys a story about two brothers. This is just a clicker. See, can't make that, and I make it go black. It's incredible power. I'm going to tell you a story about two brothers named Esau and Jacob. And if the translation looks odd to you adults, I'm reading mostly from the NIRV today. And I've spent some time, how would I preach to my daughter? It's 4. And so here is Esau and Jacob, they're two brothers, okay? One day, Jacob was cooking some stew. Esau came in from the open country. He was very hungry. He said to Jacob, quick, I'm very hungry. Let me have some of that red stew. That's why he also was named Edom. Now, have you ever been outside and playing, and you're running, and you're playing hard, and you come inside, and your mom's made dinner, and you can smell it? Oh, and it just smells so good because you're so hungry, and you go up to and you're like, can I have some of that? And that's what happened here. One of the brothers, Jacob, made some really... Is this helping you with your temptation to eat the candy? You want me to talk about food some more?
Yes.
Yeah. And so Esau comes in from the field and he sees this red stew that his brother is making, and he says, please, did you already eat it?
I told you Ethan be the first one to eat.
All right, so we have, okay, that's okay. No judgment here. No judgment. I'm totally serious. You're not getting one of these.
You just like
He doesn't like chocolate.
Oh, he doesn't like chocolate. Oh, okay. So he's like, oh, I'm going to make the choice right now. So Esau comes in, and he sees red stew. He's like, please give me some. You know what Jacob says to his brother? What do you think? If you have a brother, what do you think Jacob said to his brother?
Can I please have some?
Yeah, that's right. He said no, but here's what he said. Jacob replied, first, sell me the rights that belong to you as the oldest son in the family. So he didn't say no outright. He said, well, you want some to smell it, it's good, but if you want some, it's going to cost you, Esau. And he said, it's going to cost you your birthright. So not only were they brothers, they were actually twins. Just like you two. Now, which one of you was born first?
Me. 2 minutes.
All right, so Eric was born first by like 10 minutes. They were even closer than that. Esau was born first. His brother Jacob was holding his heel as he came out. Do you know, Eric, what it would mean for him because he was born first? He would get twice the stuff that his brother got. That was his birthright. So his father's estate, he would get a double share, and his brother would only get half of it, his older brother. So how would you feel, Ethan, if you knew that your older brother was going to get twice as good a car as you did?
I want to get Lamborghini.
Okay, so yeah, so let's say your brother's going to get like a Lamborghini, and you're going to get one of the cars that got flooded out today.
I'd be fine.
Yeah, you get the farm car, and he gets the Lamborghini. And so do you think it caused some fighting between the two brothers? And so Jacob says, all right, Esau,
Let's get a Lamborghini.
if you want some of this stew I'm making, I want you to give up that double portion that you're getting. And so Esau had to make a choice. Did he want his inheritance or this stew? Now, again, it probably smelled amazing. Now, we say that's foolish because one meal is not worth your inheritance. To match the story, really, I should have put like $100 bills up here. You know, if you kids could hold off on eating the candy. But you know what? Sometimes, something is wrong to do, but you really want to do it anyways. And in the moment, like you're hungry, or it just looks really attractive, seems like it would be really fun, like maybe you get a box, right, from like Amazon or something, and Christine has grandparents that live out of state, so boxes arriving usually means good stuff is inside. You ever had that happen? Your parents, you get a box, and your parents are like, don't touch that box, but you're like, man, maybe something really cool. There could be a Lamborghini in that box. I better open it and look.
Or this.
And that is temptation. So here's what happened. So Esau comes in and he says, hey, I'm really hungry. Give me some of that stew. He says, well, it'll cost you your inheritance. Here's what Esau says. Look, I'm dying of hunger. Parents, does this sound familiar to you with like a 4-year-old? Oh, Mom, if we don't stop at Dairy Queen, I'm dying. And so Esau said, what good are those rights to me? But Jacob said, first, promise to sell me your rights. So Esau promised to do it. He sold Jacob all the rights that belonged to him as the oldest son. Then Jacob gave Esau some bread and some lentil soup. Now, I've had lentil soup, and it's not that impressive, personally speaking. Esau ate and drank, then he got up and left. So Esau didn't value the rights that belonged to him as the oldest son. So Esau agrees. He says, you know what? I'll sell you all of my inheritance, my double portion. Just give me a taste of what you've made. And I want you to think about it. The rest of his life, his family, his kids, and their kids are affected by this decision that he makes in a moment of weakness. Let me talk to you parents now. Parents, please teach your kids to give up short-term satisfaction for long-term pleasure. They will make these decisions that these kids right here are dealing with, every single day for the rest of their life. And if they don't get it at a young age, they will struggle continually. Whether it's doing homework, right? Put down the Xbox and do your homework for the long-term satisfaction. Whether it's doing the chores that need doing around the house, whether it's exercising and dieting later on in life, whether it's following through on college, whether it's holding down a job, whether it's saving for retirement, your children will, for the rest of their life, face these kinds of choices. I didn't learn this lesson well. My parents told me not to play with fire.
My dad played with fire.
They told me not to play with fire, but I did because I thought it would be fun. And I horribly burnt myself. I spent an entire summer recovering, not able to run and play outside because I chose the short-term fun. When I was your age, I didn't think that homework was something that was worth doing it. And so I didn't, and then I faced years and years of struggle in my life because I didn't put in the work at school. I was a lazy student. So kids, let me tell you, you're lazy.
I hate school.
Let me tell you though, don't skip your homework. It's not worth it. And don't play with fire. I can show you pictures. They're pretty nasty. You probably wouldn't want to eat anything. Don't play with fire. It's not worth it. But that stuff is small stuff. Don't give in to temptation. It is never worth it. The book of Hebrews draws this connection. It says that see to it that no one is godless like Esau. He sold the rights to what he would receive as the oldest son, and he sold them for a single meal. As you know, after that, he wanted to receive his father's blessing, but he was turned away. With tears, he tried to get the blessing, but he couldn't change what he had done. Some of us do the same. Some of us give up the greater things that God has in store for us for a few minutes of fun, a few moments of pleasure, and we throw away our inheritance. And it says later Esau begged for it and could not change what he had done. See, Ethan, you didn't know about this. But because it's your birthday, I actually went and got some birthday cake for you and your brother. Now, Eric, see, you haven't eaten your candy yet, so Eric, you're going to get the chocolate cake. And Ethan, you're going to get to watch your brother eat. No, I'm just kidding. Please don't get He was looking at me, I'm like, oh gosh, I'm going to end the service with a thing like, while you drink. Wouldn't that be horrible? If I made you like watch your brother, we're just going to give him both cakes to hold on to. All right. I'm pretty sure it'd be bad to punch a pastor. But that's what happened with Esau. He gave it up and he gave in. And he gave in, and later he said, you know what, I changed my mind. I want my inheritance. I want to provide for my family and their family after them. But he couldn't change what he had done. And I tell you, there are going to be people standing before God when the books of life are open that have recorded in them the things that we've done in our life. And there are going to be people then pleading with God to change the things that they had done because they chose short-term pleasure over long-term satisfaction. So kids, I'm serious with you. Now, I'll let you have the birthday cake just because it's your birthday, but the rest of you, yeah, if you eat your candy, you're not going to get this. And it says that Esau was not just foolish, he was godless. And we don't want to be like this. So I'm going to give you guys 3 things I want you to know about temptation, so you don't end up like Esau, all right? First is do not dwell on the candy.
What is that?
Don't keep thinking about it.
Don't keep thinking about whatever it is that's tempting you. So if there's a box, right, and your parents tell you don't touch the box, and if you go there and sit there by the box, and you look at the box, and you maybe like nudge it a little bit, you are setting yourself up for failure. Would it help you if I told you to open the candy right now and just lick a little bit of it? Would that help you? Would that help you with your temptation?
No, I already.
No. And I'm just going to tell you, as an adult, I have a hard time with this in particular. I have no self-control when it comes to eating. And so we have these family members who send us all this stuff in the Easter basket for Christine and for Mitchell. He's not even eating solid fruit yet, and then there's all these Peeps, right, in this basket on the counter. And I'm walking by it, and I see the Peeps. I'm walking Mitchell down, and I tell myself, Pastor Aaron, you don't need that. All right? That's empty calories. You don't need to eat a whole sleeve of Peeps. And then I start thinking about it, though, right? And I start thinking, I said, oh, they probably taste pretty good. Yeah, I do like Peeps. Some people think they're nasty. I don't. I like them.
I've never ate it.
And so they said, well, and I hung out there. I was walking around the house, and I hung out there, and I was looking at it. You know what I did?
You ate one.
I didn't just eat one, though, because I ate the one Peep, and I was like, yeah, I bet you two would be pretty good.
You ate it all.
I ate a whole sleeve of Peeps, and I didn't need to. You know why? Because I hung out there and I looked at it. And so if you have something that you know would be wrong to do, and you're facing that temptation, don't sit there and stare at it. Run away! Seriously, that's what the Bible tells you to do. When you know something would be bad to do it, don't hang out there and think about how fun it would be to do. The Bible uses words like lay aside, put off, and flee from. 1 Timothy, he writes to Timothy, a young guy, about greed, and here's what he said. But you, man of God, flee from all this. Run away from temptation. 2 Timothy 2:22, he says the same thing. Run away from the evil things that young people long for. So when you see something that would be bad to do, what do I want you to do, kids? Run away from it. I'm just going to give you an illustration. There's this video here of a bear, right? This news crew found this bear walking along the suburbs. And there's going to be a guy who's texting on his phone. And he doesn't see the bear. And so you're going to watch the bear here. He's going to walk behind some trees. And on the other side, you're going to see this guy walking with his phone. Let's see what happens here. He's walking with his phone. There, you see him? And he sees the bear. Kids, what did that guy do once he saw the bear?
Turn around, run.
He turned away and ran. Now, two things. One, texting could get you into a very bad spot if you're not paying attention to what you're doing. But why did he run from the bear?
I want to die.
So he wouldn't die. He saw the danger, right?
He saw the thing.
I want you, when you see the possibility for evil, for bad things, I want you to have the same mindset that sin is way more dangerous than a bear. Because all a bear can do is eat you.
Yep. Everybody see the bear.
All a bear can do is eat you. You can surrender with sin, God Himself. So I want you to distance yourself from temptation. So let me ask you, I noticed, what did you do with your candy as soon as I gave it to you? You put it in your pocket. Why did you put it in your pocket? So you wouldn't eat it. So here, how old are you? 9 years old. He already understands that idea. He said, look, I'm not going to hold it in my hand and look at it. I'm going to put it in my pocket. It's going to be out of sight, so I'm not going to have to mess with it. So you're already on the right track. So let me tell you, kids, if you want, you can put your candy up on the table, okay? If you don't want to be tempted by
I put
it.
mine in my shoe.
You put yours in your shoe. That's
Definitely gonna
okay.
I can't.
You know what? I don't think anybody's going to be tempted to eat that now.
I put it in my pocket.
All right. So the second thing I want you to do is focus on the greater satisfaction. So sin is always a choice. It's a choice between short-term fun and long-term good. So when you're dealing with temptation, if it's homework, I want you to focus on you being able to do well in school and your parents being proud of you. If it's doing your chores, I want you to focus on not tripping over everything in your room. When it comes to sin, we focus on what God promises. Esau didn't do this. And the Bible tells us that Esau, in the wording used, he despised his birthright because he chose a single meal over it. Maybe he thought it was a long way off, right? He's like, well, my father Isaac, well, I don't know how long he's going to live. It's a long way off and I'm hungry now. Do you really believe I'm going to give you these candy bars?
No.
No? Oh, Thomas. No, I'm serious. I will give you one of those. I can't take these home. Because I know what will happen if I take these home. So I'm going to send you guys home. Would you find it harder to believe if I didn't have them sitting on the table right here? Would that be harder for you? If I just said, hey, at some point I'm going to give you candy? And so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say, kids, you can go ahead and pick out your candy bar. Go ahead and go up if you still have your candy. You can go ahead and go up and pick a candy bar for yourself. Don't eat it yet. Don't eat it yet.
I'm immediately putting it in my pocket.
Christine, get one of the Kit Kats so I can split it with you.
Christine, get what you want.
She just nudged me a little bit with her elbow. I'll just sit down. So now you have what you are holding out for. You have what has been promised to you, and you can hold it in front of you, and you can compare them. Because a little lifesaver is not nearly as good as a whole chocolate bar. And so adults, I want to tell you that what God promises you is so much greater than any sin could be. Because the Christian life is not just about running away from a bunch of things in our life. It is about running away from the things that are cheap and running to God. It's not just that I gave you guys a bunch of candy and said you can't eat any of it.
Can we eat this now?
No. If you eat that, I will take that candy bar from you. I'm going to teach you a lesson.
I can't see either one.
Here's the thing. When the Bible tells us to flee from sin, it is also telling us to pursue things. 1 Timothy, he tells him, he says, run away from greed, but he says, flee from all this and pursue righteousness, godliness, faith, love, endurance, and gentleness. 2 Timothy, same thing. Flee the evil desires of youth and pursue righteousness, faith, love, and peace, along with those who call on the Lord out of your heart. And that's important. I wondered what would happen. I considered doing this. Having all of you eat the candy except one of you.
I can do that.
See, I think that some of you are being strong because you're sitting and Christine's putting the candy in the wrapper kind of by her mouth. Some of you, I think you're being strong because you're sitting next to your friends and your siblings and they're being strong. But if you're in a room full of people and all of them eat the candy, human nature, people will just do whatever the people around them are doing. I remember watching this study and they had people taking a fake survey in a room full of other people and they began to fill the room with smoke. But all the other people were actors. Except for one person. And they told the actors, just play it cool, pretend like nothing is happening. You know what the other person did? The test subjects?
He went out.
They looked around, and they're like, are you guys worried about this? The room filling with smoke, I think the building is on fire. And everybody focused on their work, and so they said, well, I guess I should finish the survey first. And they sat there, every single one of them. They looked at the people around them, and they said, well, I guess we'll be okay. I guess we will be okay.
There's only another building.
And they sat there with the room filling with smoke. And so look, I want you, kids, I want you to hang out with other kids who choose to do the right thing. Because if you're with other kids, see, I was playing with fire because I was with other kids who played with fire.
My dad used to play with fire.
And I want you to I want you to choose friends that do the right thing. Because it will make it easier for you. But most of all, I want you to know that the things that God promises to give you are way better than any fun that sin could ever give you. Faith, love, peace, righteousness, endurance, and gentleness. There is no wrong thing you could possibly do that would give you those things. And more importantly, you get God himself. Did you know that God promises to reward you when you say no to doing bad things? Did you know that, kids? Just like I promised to reward you for saying no to eating the candy, God holds out the same promises for us. Are you excited to eat your candy bar?
Yeah.
I'm not done yet. I am so mean to you guys today. I'm sorry. I want to tell you one more thing. I want to tell you one more thing, and I promise I'll close.
Can we have Kit Kat? There's more.
I want to tell you one more thing about temptation. Christine, can you come up here and sit? I want to talk to Christine. Okay.
I want to do it. I'll do it. No.
Christine, I want you to know that I'm very proud of you for not eating the candy. Christine, if you had eaten the candy, would you have gotten the candy bar? No, I wouldn't have given it to you. Would I have still been your daddy? Yes. Christine, I want you to know that sometimes when you want to do bad things, sometimes, Christine, that you are going to do bad things. But I will love you. I will love you anyways, Christine. And even when you do things that I don't want you to do, I will always be your dad. And you will always be my child. And as much as I love you, Christine, God loves you even more. And even when God has us experience the consequences of the sin that we choose, Christine, if you love God, you will always be his child too. Okay? I love you. Kids, I want you to know this. Even if she had chosen the lesser thing, I would still be her dad. And there's nothing in all this world that would make me stop being her dad. And when you follow Jesus, sometimes you're going to mess up. Sometimes you might feel like Ethan, right, who ate the candy, didn't know there was birthday cake involved. And sometimes you're going to feel like that. And sometimes you're going to feel like a failure. But I want you to know that there is nothing in all of creation that can separate you from the love of God. So here's what's going to happen. We're going to pray. We're going to do something unusual. Even as we are singing the closing song, I'm going to let you eat the candy. As a celebration to God.
And my birthday.
You can change out if you want. But that is just a taste of what heaven is going to be. When we cross through those gates, we will see all of mankind for all of eternity entering into the rewards that God has promised. Are you looking forward to that today?
Amen.
Let's pray. God, I pray for these little ones. That you yourself say that you have such care and concern for them. God, I pray that even now, whether we are 4 or 40, that you would continue to teach us to deny ourselves, to lay aside the cheap pleasures that the world offers, the fleeting fun of sin, and to choose the greater reward, which is Christ himself. God, even for those who would sit there this morning, and God, if we're honest, we feel like we are those who have chosen the wrong path in every temptation ever in our lives, that you hold out your promise of free forgiveness, that you will change us from the inside out, that you proclaim your undying love for us. Jesus' name.